Will you take this? And I'm sick of it. How much longer is this going to go on?
I don't know how to do anything else.
Then you'd better learn. And you'd better make some money somehow.
I will. I will.
When? That's what I want to know. When?
You'll see. I'll find a way. Maybe today. Oh. Wow.
Good day, Mr. Kirby. Oh, hello, Bob. My wife here? Yes, over there with your little blonde. Hello, darling.
Oh, Bill.
Sorry I'm late. I got held up.
Oh, not my business for you, dear.
I didn't take a job suddenly, if that's what you mean. I'm much too old for that sort of thing. Now, as a matter of fact, I waited for somebody who didn't come. Hello, Edna. Where'd you two meet up this afternoon?
Oh, I called her and invited her. You don't mind, do you, dear? After all, we've known each other for years now.
In fact, I'll become a friend of the family if I'm not careful.
Say, you've gotten her to talk. But that's wonderful. She's sat absorbed in that paper ever since she got here. You want to know what's happening in the world? Ask it.
What is happening in the world, Edna?
Well, here's a man robbed a woman. Got 22 francs.
Happens every day.
Yes, but he murdered her, too. That's a poor return on his investment.
Well, when they let him go, send him around to me. If they get rid of my aunt the same way, I'll give him 1,000,000 francs.
Oh, Bill. Don't say your aunt said no again.
Yes, and very firmly.
Has he told you about Mrs. Henderson?
Mm-hmm.
I took the liberty, sir.
Oh, thank you.
And a martini sec for you. Thanks. Everything all right otherwise?
What's Mrs. Henderson going to do with all her money?
Well, she's going to give it to me.
Then why worry?
Because she lived to be 100, and that's too long.
I'll get rid of her for you.
For 1,000,000 francs?
Just for love.
Did you cut yourself, madam?
No. Bill, why don't you tell her now, this minute?
Yes. Tell me, darling.
Don't you think this is a rather odd place to discuss a personal matter?
You don't have to shout it out. Just say it soft and distinctly.
Helen, Edna and I...
Edna and you think you love each other, is that?
Yes, I'm afraid that's it.
And, you'd like me to step out of the picture?
Not at all, darling. You stay where you are. We'll step out.
How thoughtful.
I didn't want it to happen this way.
You could anything you like, Bill, as long as you pay.
Meaning what?
Meaning she'll let you go if you give her money.
I mean that and a good deal more, my pet. We live entirely on credit, Bill and I. Well, you must have guessed it by now. You must have guessed how the credit and everything else revolves around that aunt of his dying. And if she takes too long, well, you'll get tired of waiting, Edna, and... Poor Bill. Well, I'll get along now. Guess you two got quite a bit to think about. Oh, yes, and in the meantime, Edna, you better just go along being a friend of the family, huh? Goodbye. Bye.
You know, Helen took it nicely, didn't she?
Nicely? What's so nice about demanding a fortune you haven't got?
I'll get it somehow.
I love you, Bill, I really do. But Helen was right about one thing. If you don't do something soon, I can't wait. You understand that, don't you?
I understand only one thing. I can't lose you, and I won't lose you. Did you drop this, sir? I don't think so. Oh, yes, I guess I did. You want another drink?
No, thanks. Mind if I go?
No, if you must, you must.
Playing against yourself?
I just want to see if I can throw 2 aces.
And if you do?
The answer will be yes.
Yes to what?
Nothing important, just an idea. Goodbye, darling.
Bye.
You... Look at my hands.
Yeah, idiot. Hey, we clobbery. Chance to get your woman some money. Look what you've done.
I didn't do it.
You think the police will believe that? You'll wind up on the gill. All right. I'll make a bargain with you. You keep your mouth shut about my being here, and I'll get you out of this mess.
How?
Let them catch you, and then just sit tight. I'll get you out of prison. I'll have a hiding place waiting. I'll never let that knife fall.
But I don't know you. How can I trust you?
What else can you do? I'm your only hope. Come on, I'll take you home.
Edna.
Why did you want to meet me here?
There's no reason for you to be involved in this.
Did you hire that knife grinder?
The police might think so. They could make it awkward for us.
Oh, Bill, don't be so serious. I know it's just luck. And now you're rich and you can pay Helen off and you and I can... What'll we do first?
It's not as easy as that, darling. You see, there's the will, and I suppose a decent period of mourning. And Helen, of course, she has certain ideas. We'll have to be careful for a while.
How long?
Just be patient, darling. Look, I've got to meet Helen now.
Helen, always Helen. I'd like
It
to...
won't be long, darling.
Might as well have left his name and address.
Who is that? Mr. Kirby's.
That'll be enough. Yes? Mr. and Mrs. Kirby.
Yes?
Inspector Maigret, police this here. Mr. Kirby, are you your aunt's heir?
I believe so, yes.
Do you happen to know of anyone who might have wanted to kill your aunt?
No one, no.
From what we've been told, it was the work of a burglar.
It was the work of a burglar, Mrs. Kirby, who took nothing except 2 lives. Take.
Joseph!
Why have to look where you're going?
What's the matter?
Nothing except you. Here, let me have it. You're going to do such big things. Now you can't even afford to buy yourself a new pair of glasses.
I'll get some.
What with? Oh, I'm wasting my... Why do you keep looking behind you all the time? You can't see anything.
I was thinking.
You know, I still don't know how you lost your glasses.
I told you I fell down.
Fall out of a knife. Where did you fall down?
In a street?
What street?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know anything. I'll put it away. You can find your own way upstairs.
Hey, you. Come on down here.
Who are you?
I'm the police.
Police?
Your name is Joseph Hatin. I arrest you for the murder of Juliet Henderson and Elsie Cardew.
I didn't do it.
You come along with me.
Now?
Yes, right now.
What'll I say to her?
You come along.
You gotta help me. I can't see.
Yes, I know. I found your glasses.
Now where are you going?
I'm going with this man.
With him? Why?
I found his glasses.
Found my glasses.
You be careful.
Take him to headquarters.
How did you find your way back from St. Cloud without a pair of these?
I didn't kill anybody.
Who gave you Mrs. Henderson's address?
I didn't kill anybody.
Why won't you speak out?
I've told you everything.
You told me that you broke into the house to rob Mrs. Henderson. When you got there, you found her lying in a pool of blood, and that somebody stepped on your glasses.
I didn't see who it was.
How did you find your way back from St. Cloud without your glasses?
You know what'll happen to you, don't you? Guard?
Who is your accomplice? I am God.
I'm sorry if my nagging got you into this trouble.
I didn't have anything to do with it.
Didn't it make you try to steal?
Well, maybe, but that's all I did.
You didn't kill her, did you?
No.
Then who did kill her?
I didn't see who it was.
But I know there must have been someone with you, someone that helped you home. Who was it?
I can't tell.
If you won't tell, then it was you that did it. You alone. Only you.
Guard.
Just before the night fell, he started whining for his mother.
I begin to feel sorry I listened to him, McVeigh. Supposing he slips through your fingers.
I'll see you tomorrow, Mr. Chameleon.
And remember, I take no responsibility for this. You realize your career's at stake?
And a man's head. Janvier are following him.
Right.
What is it? Is the canteen open yet? When it's open, send me up some breakfast.
If he stays here, get a room near his. I'll phone McGree with the Bellevue.
Paper, paper, get your afternoon paper, paper.
Give me them all.
Latest edition, paper, paper, get your afternoon paper. Latest edition.
Is he still sleeping?
Yes.
Where are the papers?
Here they are. What did the morning papers say about the escape?
Only that he got away. Janvier, are you sure he didn't try to leave a note anywhere?
Positive. We never took our eyes off him.
Didn't he seem to be looking for someone?
If he was, he didn't find him.
What about the...
What?
Yay!
What's the matter?
Listen to this letter printed in the Eiffel. A semi-official announcement was made in this morning's papers to the effect that Joseph Ertin, awaiting trial for murder by the Seine Assizes, had escaped from prison under inexplicable circumstances. We are in a position to state that Joseph Ertin did not escape. He was made to escape. We are not in a position to give the details of the odious comedy that was played last night, but we are able to state that it was the police themselves who presided over this pseudo-escape. How could anyone know about it?
It's not in here.
Nothing in here. Nothing here. Lucas, run down to the offices of the Eiffel. I want the original of this letter.
Right.
We've caught something. I wonder what sort of an animal we've caught. He's gotten up. He's leaving the room. Come along outside, but don't make a noise. If he reads that we're cooked, he won't get it.
Excuse me, that's my paper.
This is what I was afraid would happen. This is what I thought would happen. This is what has happened. How's Jean-Pierre?
He's all right.
I heard you brought him fast. Think he'd die?
My wife sent
He
him.
could have been killed.
I'm sorry it had to happen.
I'm sorry the whole thing happened. Every paper in Paris is screaming for investigation. I've had 30 phone calls since I came in. Think I haven't got superiors too? What are they getting? Phone calls.
If I don't lay my hands on the murderer, in 10 days I'll hand in my resignation.
I'm afraid I'd have to accept. Of course. In other words, if you don't lay hands on Joseph Ertin...
Lay hands on the murderer.
All right. Let's leave it at that. If there hadn't been a leak somewhere, I'd say take your time. But this situation is driving me out of my mind. Well, when you've found something, let me know.
That may be sooner than you think.
You got a lead?
I've got this piece of paper
Where'd you get it?
from the editor of Sifflet.
Look at that. It's too bad it's been handled by so many people. There's no sense in looking for fingerprints.
No.
What does it tell you?
Not a thing. What about you?
Well, I've studied it half the night. The paper comes from the Deux Magots, Saint-Germain-des-Prés. Do you know the place?
Yeah, I know the place.
The writing was done with the left hand, not by a left-handed person, but by somebody who knows that all left-handed writing looks pretty much alike. Intellectual.
What was that?
Intellectual. The kind that speaks and writes 7 different languages, you know? Of course, if I'm going to give you a portrait of him, it's not strictly scientific.
You go on.
Well, unless I'm mistaken, we're dealing with an extraordinary individual. It's strange. I find here a curious mixture of willpower and weakness, of coldness and emotional capacity.
Man's writing?
Oh, yes, but I find traits here that are definitely feminine. Of course, I know this wouldn't be very convincing to an examining magistrate, but just the same.
I could have told you much more had he written with his right hand. Now, there are stains on that paper, though, of course, they might have come from the linotyper. But that spot there, that is coffee.
In other words, this letter was written yesterday morning in the bar of the Deux Magots by a polyglot customer who was probably drinking coffee.
Who probably has just committed a very rash act.
That's right. It's not exactly the sort I expected.
Oh, you think it's Ertin's accomplice?
Tell me, what do you do when a girl writes you a love letter?
Oh, I never would read it. It would tell me far too much about her. And besides, I never have received one anyway.
Reservation to my exposé.
What'll it be? Beer.
I'm glad to see you've stopped mourning.
Oh, I'm still pretty sad. Looks like I'll be losing my man as soon as the will's probated.
I weep for you, the walrus says. I deeply sympathize.
With sighs and tears, she stretched out both her eyes.
What's the matter, Bill?
Inspector? You drop in here often?
I smoke a pipe.
I have a drink.
I got one.
I don't think I've noticed you here before. By the way, are all those rumors true?
What rumors?
Well, you know that the murderer...
Oh, there's nothing to worry about. It's a very pretty girl with your wife.
Yes, she's very pretty.
It's not French, is she?
No, American. Her name's Edna Warren.
Charming.
Yes, well, you'll excuse me, Inspector. Let's go. Taxi!
Coffee and yogurt, 55 francs.
Excuse me, bring me some caviar sandwiches.
Caviar sandwich, 1.
3.
3 caviar sandwiches, 3. And some vodka, 2?
Yes, some vodka, too. And some American cigarettes.
Just a moment, sir. Your check. That'll be 300 for the caviar sandwiches, 40 francs vodka, 200 cigarettes, and what you had before.
I'll pay you tomorrow. You'll have to speak to the manager about it.
Hey, Bob. Fellow wants to come back tomorrow and pay his check. He's had caviar sandwiches, vodka, cigarettes.
That's right.
You have no money?
Just enough for the yogurt and coffee.
You live in a neighborhood, you could send somebody with you.
I have no money at home.
Yet you order caviar. Hey, George, get a policeman. You sure you have no money?
I think that's what I said.
Hurry up, hurry up! This the one? Yes, he orders caviar, vodka, and expensive cigarettes, and refuses to pay.
I have no money.
All right, come along. Oh, you work in this neighborhood? What's up?
A man called Red ain't being broken for you. I want to hear what he has to say.
What's he done?
Even caviar, they couldn't pay.
Only that?
The circumstances were odd.
Where'd you do it?
Delmago.
Stand in Radek. What about this her time business? You're mixed up in it, aren't you?
The papers ought to let us do our own way.
I'm with you there. You know what you're charged with? What have you got to say?
Nothing at all.
Where do you live? Have you any means of support? You know, you're liable to get 15 days for that.
The sentence would be suspended. You'd have to say it was a first offense.
And then Johann Radek, age 38, born in Brunn, father unknown, has lived in Berlin, Mainz, Bonn, and Hamburg, medical student. Is that right?
Professor Grole, whom you may have heard of, will tell you I was his best pupil.
Mother Elizabeth Radek died 2 years ago, employed as domestic servant.
How do you live? I knew you were a policeman. How do you live? While she was alive, my mother used to send me enough money to study medicine. Out of her wages as a servant? I was her only son. She'd have done anything for me. Does that surprise you? It was 2 years ago. Since then? Some relatives send me money from time to time. And once in a while, I get some translating to do. What about the editor of the Sifflet? I'm afraid I don't understand. It's enough.
Take him out.
Keep him here tonight. Let him go in the morning. Janvier. I don't like the look of that.
But what's this about the Sifflet?
I don't know yet.
Is that Inspector about Radek?
What? Oh, yes, delighted, Inspector. What can I do for you this beautiful, beautiful morning?
Very simple matter, Professor Grole. I want some information about an ex-student of yours called Johann Radek.
Uncanny, Inspector. That's what was wrong with that young man. Uncanny. Radek. Oh, mind you, very intelligent. Too intelligent, in point of fact.
Was he a good student?
He had a remarkable flair, Inspector, for sensing the weakness of others. His fellow students were afraid of him. Come to think of it, so was I. Do you know, he'd look at you for a moment or two and know everything that was wrong with you. He'd meet a man, any man, a woman if you like, and he'd say to them with delight, he'd say, "You'll be dead within a year." And believe it or not, within a year they'd be gone. A sinister gift, Inspector. I could have made a great doctor of him, but he was unbalanced, you know what I mean? One moment burning with excitement, the next deflated.
Beg your pardon?
Well, out. Yes, like a match. A sick man, Inspector, what we call manic depressive.
Oh, manic.
This gift of diagnosis wasn't only medical, it was moral, too. Not only here, Inspector, but here as well. Oh, I wouldn't want a gift like that. Oh, dear me, no.
Thank you very much, Professor.
Huh? Oh.
told me to come here.
Oh, my son. Follow me.
You escaped, didn't you?
Yes, like you said.
I saved your life.
Yeah.
And why didn't you come straight here, as I told you?
They were following me.
Why did you show yourself around the cafe?
I didn't think.
I'm sick of helping you. It's better you'd be dead.
And I'll do anything you say.
Then stay here until I come to get you. And don't show yourself. If the police get you, they'll tie your hands behind your back and cut your head off. You want that?
No.
You can help a man just so long. After that, he's on his own. Remember, stay here. Thanks, Mother.
Pardon me, are those francs ready yet? Just counting them, sir. Half a minute. I'll be right back.
Bill, darling,
You look lovely.
I'm fed up with it. I'm running away tonight. Tomorrow
Don't
I'll...
go anywhere without me.
I won't put up with her sarcasm. Her nest.
Stay until I go with you. Don't be an idiot.
Oh, how long will it be? First it's money, then it's...
Darling, things are nearly right. It won't be long now. Believe me. Come.
You know why I like you, Edna. Because you're the least subtle creature I know.
I don't have to be subtle, dear.
Here you are, sir.
Thank you.
Did you want to see me?
Not unless you know a man called Raddick.
Raddick? Raddick?
Yes, that's right.
I honestly never heard of him. Why?
I just thought you might know him.
No, but you might ask him.
Hello. Well,
Did either of you ever hear of a man called... What is it, Inspector?
Johann Raddick.
Does he live here in the hotel? He should be handsome with that name. Perhaps you know him, darling.
I know very few people.
You'll forgive us, won't you? We're off to a charity ball and we're late already.
Bye.
Yes, sir?
You gave that man some money. I want the numbers of the notes.
Oh, I'm very much afraid, sir, that we couldn't.
Very good, sir. I just want the numbers of the notes.
K423. 71181. 71191.
Raddick's inside.
Has he been here long?
Not very, no, but he's had 7 yogurts.
Does that make you feel hungry?
No, just the other way around.
Oh, Inspector. Isn't it time we had a talk? I've been thinking a great deal about you.
I'm all ears.
I'm sure you are. But not here.
Why not here?
I'm taking my patronage somewhere else. This morning when I came in, they expected me to pay in advance.
Did you?
Yes. But things like that leave a bad taste in one's mouth. Do you know the restaurant on the Eiffel Tower?
No.
I go to the tower every day alone. Now, perhaps the two of us can go. Shall we have lunch together? Caviar sandwiches and vodka? Agreeable?
After you, Inspector.
Taxi! Taxi!
Keep the change. It gives one a feeling of power, like watching an anthill. Don't you ever wonder how it feels to fall from so high up? A man of courage could find out. What a brilliant gesture of contempt for human weakness. If life ever becomes completely humiliating, I recommend a leap from the top as an excellent means of leaving this best of all possible worlds. But not until after we've had lunch. Your health, Inspector. Don't think for a moment I'm throwing doubt on your professional capacity. If in this case you understand less than nothing, it's only because right from the start you've been working on falsified data. And having gotten on the wrong track, everything was inevitably wrong. And everything you'll find out will be wrong. Right to the very end. You can't make out what I'm up to, can you? It looks as though I were trying to put my head under the guillotine. Here I am talking about the very subject in which you're dying to get me involved. But how can I be brought into it? I've nothing to do with any of these people. The most that could be said against me is that yesterday Joseph Hertin was wandering around outside the Demago and seemed to be looking for me. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But the fact remains that I left the place accompanied by a couple of policemen. And what does that prove? You know, you made a mistake letting Hertin go before you got a conviction. You may never get anybody else to take his place, and there's always the possibility he'll get completely away. Then you'd be stuck, wouldn't you? Shall I help you, Inspector? Shall I give you the pretext you need in order to arrest me? There, 100,000 francs, brand new notes, easily traced. Have a good time. Trace them. Or would you prefer to arrest me? Or perhaps best of all, wouldn't you like to start all over again? Say at the Henderson house. That's what I'd do if I were you and had just heard what you've heard. I think I'd go out there this afternoon and go over those false tracks again. Who knows what I might find?
Listen, son. I will start all over again. I might find out how long ago you came into the picture.
Buddy, this is your friend. What do you want? I've just heard the police are reopening their investigation into your aunt's death. Yes, starting tomorrow. They're going over the house again with a fine-tooth comb. And this time they'll find the knife. I left it there somewhere. Where? Where?
Who is it?
No, I can't remember where, but it has my fingerprints on it. And when they find it, it'll lead them directly to me. And from me to you, you'll have to get it.
Me? I can't.
Yes, go out there this afternoon, now. It's the last chance you'll have. It's your neck, Mr. Kirby.
Who was that? It was Helen, wasn't it? Bill. What did she say? What is she trying to do now?
Nothing. It wasn't her.
Bill, whatever she said, whatever you're going to do, don't do it. I can handle her. Bill!
K4237181, K4237181.
Souvenirs, postcards?
I don't know. K4237181. 71181.
Hey! Stand true. I'll tell you the house when I get there. Why did you come here this afternoon? Did somebody send you?
Yes.
Who was it?
He phoned.
He phoned. Who phoned? Was it the man you paid to kill your aunt? Yes. Or was it a man called Relic? No. Who was it? Who was it? You feeling it better?
No.
That's all in a night's work.
I don't remember anything after. Did I say anything I shouldn't?
Probably.
Time is it?
8 o'clock. Time to go to work.
Work?
Yeah, I want you to stay sober today. I want you to visit Radek's mother.
Don't confuse me. Radek's mother is dead.
That's been investigated, and it isn't true. She's alive and somewhere in Paris. I want you to find her.
What do you want me to say to her when I do?
Listen to what she has to say.
All right. What are you going to do?
I must call my wife. When I stay out all night, she develops a certain curiosity.
What are you going to do after that?
I got a couple of things to do. Hello!
Police. Sorry, madam. Open up!
Let me die. I want to die.
Megray. I've just broken into Radek's mother's place. I found her tan. He was strung up from the rafters.
Uh-huh.
You better come over as soon as you can.
All right. Thank you. Now, what are you saying about the two women?
Life is complicated, isn't it, Inspector? You had the misfortune for once in your life to get an idea in your head and try to see it through. A sudden flash of genius. But genius is like anything else, Inspector. You have to start young. And to think that your career's at stake, a spotless record. You might have been promoted. How do you explain the suicide of that rich young man? Really, Inspector, if I were in your place, I'd try to create a diversion. I'd arrest someone of no importance. Someone like Radek, whose mother was a servant at Boone. But then that wouldn't do any good, would it? You'd still have Hurtath's fingerprints and Hurtath's footprints. And then there's Kirby, who shot himself when you reopened the investigation. You have to go through those two to get to me. And you haven't got either of them. So you can't touch me. You listen and you never hear anything. That's your trouble. In the future, I'll be following you. It's a pleasure to see you, Inspector. I was afraid you'd given up, and there's so much to interest you. The two women, for instance. You mustn't lose sight of me, of course, but do you think they're safe, Inspector? But I told you so at the start. You listen and watch, but you're no match for me. So come on, McRae. Let's stay together and enjoy ourselves. Who knows what tomorrow may bring? Oh, it's full of pretty girls here. And of course, I'll pay.
You're sure the telephone's been connected.
Into your costumes, girls. Next show is 5 minutes.
Hey, come on! Hey, are you ready to admit you're groping in the dark? Shall I give you further proof? Cabby, to the Bellevue Hotel in Grinnell. You've been here before, Inspector, while Hurtin slept.
Wait.
It gets more and more complicated, doesn't it?
Go to Saint-Cloud, please.
Shall we follow her? Perhaps she'll lead us right to the scene of the crime. Aren't you going to see what she does? I've told you 100 times you'll never understand anything. I'll tell you again, You may be making a mistake, Inspector. Just imagine. Suppose they find another corpse in there in the morning.
Interested in knowing what she's carrying?
Look here, Raddick, shall we go and take a look? If we put our heads together, we should be able to understand everything. Don't you think so, or would you rather not? Or are you afraid of finding a corpse in there? You said something about a corpse just now. Now, that's a pack of nonsense. Whose could it be? Mrs. Henderson's dead and buried. Her maid's dead and buried. William Kirby's dead and buried. Mrs. Kirby just left in a taxi, so she's alive enough. Joseph Hurtown. Nobody knows where Joseph Hurtown is, but he's a possibility. Edna Warren, she went in the house, and she hasn't come out yet.
I'll come with you.
Good. And now, we can walk right in and make ourselves at home. Mrs. Henderson. And a pretty easy job. 2 sleeping women, no concierge, no dogs. Nothing at all to worry about. Come on. But you know, Raddick, you were quite right about the corpse. That would be a nasty surprise. You heard of Mr. Comelio, the examining magistrate, a man who can make himself very nasty when he wants to. And I'm in the doghouse already for having that Kirby kill himself. You see, I was more or less there at the time. In fact, he's fed up with the whole business. Another corpse, indeed, there would be a hullabaloo. And I should be properly in the soup for having let Mrs. Kirby walk off like that without even finding out what she was carrying. As for you, how could you be implicated? You haven't been out of my sight the whole evening. In fact, for the last week, we spent a great deal of time together. Haven't we? By the way, there's one thing I'd like to know. Am I following you, or are you following me? Come in, Raddick, come in. You aren't squeamish, are you? You don't suppose it makes any difference? I don't suppose it makes any difference to you that a couple of women were knifed to death in the place. By the way, we never found that knife. Hurtown was supposed to have thrown it in the river as he went away, but you know, I'm not so sure. In fact, I've come to the conclusion that it might, after all, have been hidden here. What was Mrs. Kirby carrying just now? You see what I'm getting at? Something about a foot long. Wouldn't that be just about the size of a good dagger? Oh, you're quite right, Raddick. You're quite right. This case is getting more and more complicated all the time. Hello, what's this? Footprints? We'd better follow these. We might even find out what Mrs. Kirby came for. Who could find that clock? 5 o'clock already. It must be getting daylight. So it is. Now, the steps seem to be leading to that closet. Wait a minute. What about that corpse of yours? Supposing it's there. We'd better be careful. Never mind, we've got to face facts sooner or later. You'd better open it. Go on, open it.
He's the one that was with me.
He planned the burglary?
Yeah. He said he'd help me make some money for Gisela. And then he...
And you swear to that in court?
Yeah. You murdered him. And you wanted me to die for what you'd done.
I'll kill you. Hey! He's no good to us dead. We We've got to bring him into court safe and sound. I don't want to lose my job, and I want to save your neck. Lucas, you may take this young lady home. Thank you for your cooperation, Miss Warren. You know who this man is.
He wrote me and told me to come here. Was he the one?
Yes, he wrote to both you and Mrs. Covey, telling you first to go to the Bellevue, and both of you to come here. He thought you might harm each other. He forgot one simple thing: the police might intercept his mail. Mr. Camillo.
Can we go now?
Oh, yes, thank you, Miss Warren. You played your part well. Oh, Camillo, Maigret, I've got her down. No, we can prove his innocence. Well, I've got the murderer, too. His name's Radek, R-E-D-E-K. He's a Czech. We're bringing him in. No, we can prove everything in court. What? He's got away. I'll throw him back. Put that gun away!
Maigret. Keep following. Far enough, Maigret. Watch now, Maigret! Watch now! You'll see me below!
Take it down.
Maigret! Maigret! Chauvier! Help Roddick down! Okay, we go down.
You won't follow me now, Maigret.
In paradisum deducante angeli, into adventa scipiante mafres, et producante in civit sanctam, gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto, sic erat in principio et nunc et semper in saecula saeculorum. Amen.